Hello everyone, myself lecturer Miss Aditi Anil Kushare, Master of Pharmacy in Quality Assurance Techniques. Today we are going to discuss about the topic environment and health, that is purification of water from health education and the community pharmacy. The topics to be covered are as follows: purification of water and methods used for water purification. The water purification is the process of removing the undesirable chemicals, biological contaminants, suspended solids and gases from the water. The goal is to produce the water fit for the specific processes. Most water is purified and disinfected for human consumption, that is drinking water, but water purification may also be carried out for a variety of other purposes, including the medical, pharmacological, chemical and the industrial applications. The methods used include the physical processes such as filtration, sedimentation, distillation; biological processes such as slow sand filters, biologically active carbon; chemical processes such as flocculation and chlorination, and use of the electromagnetic radiation such as ultraviolet light. The impure water may be purified by one of the following method, that is natural is pounding or the storage, the oxidation and settlement; artificial, physical in that the distillation and boiling; chemical in that precipitation, disinfection or sterilization; filtration, slow sand filtration and rapid mechanical filtration; domestic filtration. In natural, the pounding or the storage, that is the sludge storage removal. As the particles settle to the bottom of the sedimentation basin, a layer of the sludge is formed on the floor of the tank, which must be removed and treated. The amount of sludge generated is significant, often 3 to 5% of the total volume of the water to be treated. The cost of the treating and the disposing of the sludge can impact the operating cost of a water treatment plant. The sedimentation basin, it may be equipped with the mechanical cleaning devices that continually clean its bottom, or the basin can be periodically taken out of the service and the clean manually. Then sedimentation settlement, the waters existing the flocculation basin may enter the sedimentation basin, also called a clarifier or a settling basin. It is the large tank with the low water velocities, allowing the floccules to settle to the bottom. The sedimentation basin is the best located close to the flocculation basin, so the transit between the two processes does not permit the settlement or the floccules breakup. Then oxidation, in situ chemical oxidation, a form of the advanced oxidation processes, and the advanced oxidation technology is an environmental remediation technique used for or the groundwater remediation to reduce the concentrations of the targeted environmental contaminants or to the acceptable levels. That is, in situ chemical oxidation is accomplished by the injecting or the otherwise introducing the strong chemical oxidizers directly into the contaminated medium, soil or the groundwater, to destroy the chemical contaminants in the place. It can be used to remediate a variety of the organic compounds, including the some that are resistant to the natural degradation. Then the artificial, physical in that distillation, it involves the boiling the water to produce the water vapor. The vapor contacts a cool surface where it condenses as a liquid. Because the solutes are not normally vaporized, they remain in the boiling solution. Even the distillation does not completely purify the water because of contaminants with the similar boiling points and the droplets of the unvaporized liquid carried with the stream. However, 99.9% pure water can be obtained by the distillation. Then the boiling, bringing water to its boiling point about 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degree Fahrenheit sea level, is the oldest and the most effective way, since it eliminates the most microbes causing the intestine related disease, but it cannot remove the chemical toxins or the impurities for human health. The complete sterilization of the water is not required, since the heat resistant microbes are not intestine affecting. The traditional advice of the boiling water for 10 minutes is mainly for the additional safety, since microbes start getting eliminated at the temperatures greater than the 60 degrees Celsius 140 degree Fahrenheit through the boiling point decreases with the increasing altitude. It is not enough to affect the disinfecting process in areas where the water is hard, that is containing the significant dissolved calcium salts. Boiling decomposes the bicarbonate ions, resulting in the partial precipitation as the calcium carbonate. This is the fur that builds up on the kettle elements etc. in the hard water areas. With the exception of the calcium, boiling does not remove the solutes of higher boiling point than the water, and in fact increases their concentration due to the some water being lost as the vapor. Boiling does not leave the residual disinfectant in the water. Therefore, the water that is boiled and then stored for any length of time, it may require new pathogens. Chemical, that is precipitation. The chemical precipitation is the most common technology used in the removing the dissolved ionic metals from the solutions, such as the processes wastewaters containing the toxic metals. The ionic metals are the converted to an insoluble form particle by the chemical reaction between the soluble metal compounds and the precipitating reagent. The chemical precipitation in a water and the wastewater treatment is the change in the form of the materials dissolved in a water into the solid particles. Chemical precipitation is used to remove the ionic constituents from the water by the addition of the counter ions to reduce their solubility. Then the chemicals used for the wastewater, that is the products often purchased by the wastewater treatment plants, include alum or aluminium sulfate, sodium aluminate, polyaluminum chloride, polymer dewatering, sodium hydroxide, ferric chloride, ferrous chloride. Then the disinfection or the sterilization. This disinfection is accomplished both by the filtering and the harmful microorganisms and by the adding the disinfectant chemicals. Water is disinfected to kill any pathogens which pass through the filters and to provide a residual dose of the disinfectant to kill or to inactivate the potentially harmful microorganisms in the storage and the distribution systems. Possible pathogens include viruses, bacteria including Salmonella, cholera, Campylobacter and the Shigella, and the protozoa including the Giardia, Lamblia and the other Cryptosporidia. After the introduction of any chemical disinfecting agent, the water is usually held in the temporary storage, often called a contact tank or the clear well, to allow the disinfecting action to complete. Then the filtration. Slow sand filters may be used where there is a sufficient land and space, as the water flows very slowly through the filters. These filters rely on the biological treatment processes for their action rather than the physical filtration. They are carefully constructed using the graded layers of the sand, with the coarsest sand along with the some gravel at the bottom and the finest sand at the top. Drains at the base convey the treated water away for the disinfection. Filtration depends on the development of a thin biological layer called the Zuglial layer or the Schum's deck on the surface of the filter. An effective slow sand filter may remain in the service for many weeks or even months if the pre-treatment is the well designed and produces the water with a very low available nutrient level, which physical methods of the treatment rarely achieve. Then the rapid sand filters or the rapid membrane filters. The most common type of a filter is a rapid sand filter. Water moves vertically through the sand, which often has a layer of activated carbon or the anthracite coal above the sand. The top layer removes the organic compounds which contribute. The top layer removes the organic compounds which contribute to taste and odor. The space between sand particle is larger than the smallest suspended particle. So simple filtration is not enough. Most particles pass through the surface layers but are trapped in the pore spaces or the adhere to the sand particle. Effective filtration extends into the depth of the filter. This property of the filter is key to its operation. If the top layer of the sand were to block all the particles, the filter would quickly clog. This is the figure of the rapid sand filter. Advantages: filters out much smaller particles than the paper and the sand filters can. Filters out virtually all the particles larger than their specified pore sizes. They are quite thin and so liquids flow through them fairly rapidly. They are reasonably strong and so can withstand the pressure differences across them of typically 2 to 5 atmospheres. They can be cleaned back, flushed and reused. This is the domestic filtration drinking water treatment. So what we learned from this topic, environment and health, purification of water, the learning outcomes are the purification of water and the methods used for purification of water.